welcome to our live chat here on Classic Country Backstories. I'm Colleen Gallagher. There's nobody there. Kind of waiting to see if some people pop on. See if anybody's watching out there this evening. All right, hello and welcome to our live chat here on Classic Country Backstories. I'm your host, Colleen Gallagher. With me is this guy that works real hard behind the scenes to help put this channel together. Talking about my husband, give it up for Mr. Jim Gallagher.
Well,
Hello,
thank
Jim
you.
Gallagher.
Thank you so much, and howdy. How's everybody doing?
We've been looking forward to doing this live stream for a few days. We're up here in southeast Missouri where it's very cold right now. We've been fighting some weather, some ice, and some snow, and we're very, very fortunate that we have not lost power. There's many people in our area that have lost power, but I think most people have had their power restored. But we had like 3/4 of an inch of ice, and then about 3 days later, we got what 5 inches of snow, something like that, 5.5 inches. So
I think we had about 6 point something.
wow, I know it was a bunch. I know it was a bunch. Just when we thought it was going to look like it was going to start clearing off, we got hammered again. So, but I'm glad we're inside. We're warm. We're safe. Uh, I'm just so thankful. I want to give a shout out to all the folks in California that are really struggling right now with the wildfires. There have been, I think, 16 fatalities that they're up to now, plus a lot of people they're still looking for, and the fires are still not contained. Um, so they're still working to see what they can do to get those fires under control. They areas that are affected: Pacific Palisades, which is a beautiful area, Altadena, Hollywood Hills, Eaton, which is north of Pasadena, Riverside. It's all spread out, um, which it just blows my mind that there are wildfires in such areas, and how far that the actual wind can carry embers from a fire. So I've been watching it a lot on the news. Um, I feel really bad for those folks. There are a lot of people that have been out there for generations and generations that have lost their homes and lost their family homes. So um, we definitely want to keep those people in our prayers. I know I've been watching it, and everything is, say everything, most of it has stayed uh, west over at the Pacific Palisades side. But I know that there are some warnings and fire warnings for people, possible more evacuations. If the fires jump the 405, which is the major highway through there, and starts to move east, many of the historic areas uh, that we always see in Los Angeles could be affected. Um, I also know the winds are increasing and posing increased threats through at least Wednesday. So we're definitely wanting to pray for those people. Um, been watching a lot of media, a lot going on. So, hopefully these folks will get some relief soon. I know the first responders are working really hard for everybody. I know they're kind of handicapped because I know the water system, it sounds like, is kind of a mess in that area. So I'm just hoping and praying that, that the people that have had their homes taken away, I sure hope that they are are being taken care of real well. I hope they all have a safe place to go. I hope that they recover quickly and that they can start rebuilding. And then hopefully our fire and rescue people can get on with trying to get these fires at bay and try to take care of things. So hello, Mr. Kurt Cook. It's good to see you on here. So glad to see you. Um, Yeah, I've been watching it pretty hot and heavy. So, like I said, it makes me not feel so bad about the bad weather that we've had. So, hopefully they'll get some somewhat of a relief. Um, we are so excited to be with you all here tonight. We're looking forward to visiting with you all this evening. We have a lot to talk about. So, and we will come back to you and we'll talk right after this.
Nashville, Tennessee, country music capital of the world, home of the Grand Ole Opry, where singers and dreamers come seeking stardom. Join me as we learn about the lives and careers of those who built this town on Classic Country Backstories.
So this is our first episode of Classic Country Backstories that live chat. We have had one. We did do one before this, but it wasn't a real widely advertised one. So uh, the first episode of Classic Country Backstories was dropped on March the 1st of 2024, this last year. So we've been going for a little over 10 months now. Um, the first featured episode was on Grand Ole Opry star Hawkshaw Hawkins. And this show was actually, the channel was monetized at the first part of December, and we're so excited about that to get our first 1,000 subscribers. I think we're up to like 1,157 when I looked a little while ago. So it's building slowly. People are catching on to what we're doing, and I'm so tickled about that. Things are going really well. We're keeping real busy. First, we'd like to tell you a little bit about ourselves so you understand why we started this channel. We are both lifelong country music fans. Um, I began singing in 1974 at 8 years old, and I started playing bass guitar at 13. I was fortunate enough. Loretta Lynn was one that really started to light a fire under me when I was young, and I was blessed enough to get to sing with her and get to know her, and also share stage with Conway Twitty, Crystal Gale, Bill Monroe, the Wilburns, and so many great legends over the past 50 years that I've been performing. So, and Jim, tell them about yourself a little bit.
Well, I grew up playing gospel music. I started taking lessons between the age of 5 and 8 because nobody would take on a 5-year-old to teach them how to play drums. They didn't want to mess with it. So around 8 years old, I started taking lessons, and I started playing with several gospel groups. Grew up playing in church and with gospel groups. Well, then around the 80s, the gospel groups started going to what they call canned music, which
Mm-hmm.
is using soundtracks. So, nothing against them. They didn't have to pay a band, but they put their music in a box, as we call it. And so that kind of put a lot of musicians unemployed, out of work. So I started playing in the country field around 88, played with several local country bands. Joined the Plummer family, formerly out of Branson, Missouri. They had the Third Theater in Branson. They had retired and moved back home. And around 99, December of 99, I joined them. Played with them for about 12 years. We toured all over the Midwest, had a blast. And it was in that Route 67 was born in 2001. And we've been very blessed to play a lot of shows and work with some of our major country heroes, opening for them, backing them. And it's just been a great ride. Wouldn't trade it for anything.
Yep. And that's where we met, on the Plummer
That's where
Family
we
Tree.
met.
That's right. Back in about 2000. So,
Yep.
yes, we both worked for the Plummer family. That was a
Yep.
great time. Great
They
time.
they opened their theater in Knobloch, Missouri in 2000 and did
Mhm.
several years there. And man, it was a great time.
It was. It was. Well, and now we are still, Route 67 is still going strong after some 24 years. That's crazy to think about. But
Yeah.
more information on Route 67, you can go to route67band.com, or you can go to Route 67 Band on Facebook and see what we're up to, and what we've done. We've opened for many legendary country stars, as Jim has said, like Ray Price, John Anderson, Mark Wills, Joe Diffie, Aaron Tippin, and so many others. And then we backed Jack Green, which was just a huge moment for us.
That was a
Uh,
bucket list.
yeah, it was, and Hank Thompson and the Kindles. And we also frequently work with Ron and Leona Williams, both from in Missouri, and we have worked with them on Ernest Tubbs' Midnight Jamboree a couple times. So
Yeah.
we also work with Max T. Barnes, and Max and his dad had 33 number one hits that they wrote in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. Some of them you may remember from Max. Max T. Him and his dad wrote "Way Down Deep." Max T. wrote "That's How Your Love Makes Me Feel" by Diamond Rio. At the Sound of the Tone, John Schneider, "Before You Kill Us All," Randy Travis, "Let Go of the Stone," John Anderson, "Love Me," which was a big hit uh, for Colin Ray, and so many more. And his dad had 24 number ones and tons of hits and cuts, like "Who's Gonna Fill Their Shoes" for George Jones, "Chiseled in Stone," Vern Gosdin, Vince Gills, "Look at Us," he co-wrote that. "This Ain't My First Rodeo," Vern Gosdin, "Don't Take It Away," Conway Twitty, "Redneck and Love Making Night," Conway Twitty, and tons more. So we play several dates a year with Max T, doing a show with of his and his father's hits. Um, and we really enjoy doing that. We make numerous trips to Nashville every year, both working with Max and working with Classic Country Backstories. Max has taken us all over the United States, and he's taken us to Ireland twice, and hopefully we'll get to go back there one of these days. I miss being over there. Um, but we have been working, doing a lot of things in our career, and we're very, very, very blessed um, that we know lots of people in Nashville there who are there that help us with our research and our interviews, so we can give the best country history that we can possibly provide. The beginning of the channel, our goal has been to provide the best and most accurate information as possible while providing entertaining content. We're not going to kid you. This is a really hard job, and it's a lot of work gathering the information, interviewing, filming, editing, traveling. Um, it doesn't always go like you plan for it to go. And then sometimes you get very blessed and you get some things you just didn't even realize were going to happen. So, um, our feedback from you all has just been amazing. We really appreciate those of you who take the time to watch the episodes, like, subscribe, and share. We don't take it for granted that you're helping us to build the Classic Country Backstories brand. We've dropped 18 episodes since we started last March, which is a lot. If you haven't seen them all, go back and watch them. Jim, you've got some shout outs, I think.
Yes, I do. I want to give a shout out to our new friend, James Walton. He has a couple YouTube channels that everybody needs to check out.
Yes,
His YouTube channels are at Classic Country Music Shows and at Jamster's Country Oldies channel on YouTube. He has got tons of footage of the old shows like, Porter Wagner, Buck Owens, Pop Goes the Country, some Nashville Now, just all the stuff, that we really like. And
Mhm.
if you love classic country music, you need to check out these channels. And he's still
Absolutely.
adding daily. He put like 5 or 6 up this morning.
Mhm.
So it's really worth your time to check it out.
It has definitely been a walk back through time to watch some of these episodes. Some things I've never seen before. When
Yeah.
you think you've seen all of this stuff, but it there is so much content that he has on these channels, and I absolutely we love it. We were up till 3 a.m. a couple days ago because we couldn't go to bed. We just kept watching these, weren't we?
Yeah.
It was great. It was great.
Yeah.
So, yes,
Yeah.
James, thank you so much. We sent him an email and he responded right back. He shared our information on his channel, and I appreciate that so much from the
Yes.
bottom of our hearts. It's just so nice to have somebody else out there helping us to preserve traditional country music.
Yeah.
That's what we grew up on. I don't want it to go away, and I don't think it will. I think there's always a demand for
But
traditional country music.
yeah, there will always be a demand for traditional country music. You just have to get out and search for it and find it because it's still out there. And
Oh, absolutely.
there's a lot of new stars coming out that
Sure.
are leaning toward that genre. Zach Top, for instance. You know, several.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that between that and some of the red dirt guys, there's a lot of guys out there that are kind of in that traditional vein. And
Yes.
and it's absolutely awesome to see that, to know. That we love Zach. He was something else. And Kurt says, Zach, yeah, he likes him too.
Yeah.
I know that.
Yeah.
He's an amazing singer. There are a lot of them out there that are coming around, and we just hope it keeps coming. People help
He's
us preserve it.
he's a killer guitar player too.
Yeah.
He
Yeah, he is. He is.
he give Brent Mason a run for his money.
Yeah, that is true. So there is still a big demand for traditional type style country music. Um, we want to know who you want to see on Classic but Country Backstories. Let us know what you think. We're here to entertain you, and we're here to inform you of all things country music. You can leave comments in the chat or on our episodes. Subscribing to Classic Country Backstories is absolutely free. If you don't currently have a YouTube account, it's also free and it's easy to join. So you just go into there, get you an account, and then you can subscribe to us. You can still watch our videos without a subscription. You can still you can still share, you can still comment. So, any of those things are acceptable, and we're very happy to hear from you. Um, like I said, we now have over 1,000 subscribers, which means that we make money for commercials that are played during our episodes. Um, we can also get super chats, which is like a tip on live chats like we're doing now. Eventually, we're going to set up some memberships as an addition to the channel. Paid memberships will receive some extra perks. We have to figure all that out. And right now, I, we have a long way to go, but, we want to make sure to get the best content out there for everybody. And then, like I said, some extra perks would be added on. But however, we just want to focus on building our channel at this point. Let me see what Kurt's got on here. He said, I would like to see some Johnny Duncan. I loved Johnny Duncan too. There is a lot out there on him. Yes, we definitely will do something on him. I always love to hear that baritone voice of his. I'm writing that down too. As we go, I'm trying to keep track of all this stuff so we see what we can uh, what we can come up with for you.
You want to give them a sneak peek of who we got coming on the channel?
We've got some really exciting upcoming episodes. I know Kurt will like this one. He's a big Connie Smith fan, so we just finished one on Connie Smith, and we're going to be dropping it here in the next couple weeks. Um, And then we are working on one on Daryl Singletary. Do you want to tell them about Daryl's uh, event coming up now, or you want to wait?
Yeah, we can do that now. Let me get it pulled up here. There is there's an event they've been doing for the past 7 years at the Nashville Palace in honor of Mr. Daryl Singletary. If you'll bring that up on the screen, there we go. This is the seventh annual Daryl Singletary Keeping It Country Jam at the Nashville Palace in Nashville, Tennessee. And they have a bunch of musicians and singers, and they get together and they honor the memory of Daryl Singletary. And this one takes place Tuesday, February 11th at the Nashville Palace. The doors are at 5:30. The show is at 7 p.m. Now, reserved seating is already sold out. So the only thing left is general admission, which is $30. Um, you can go to outhousetickets.com and get your tickets for that if you're in the Nashville area or you want to attend this event. It's at the Nashville Palace, which is over by the Opry, for those of you who don't know. But some of the artists included will be Jamie Johnson, Red Akins, Ricochet, Dallas Davidson, Dylan Marlowe, and then there's going to be some more announced later on. And I've seen videos from the past ones, and it is amazing. I think some of Daryl's band members play. They have a lot of special guests get up. So yeah, it's definitely worth checking out.
Absolutely.
We just lost Daryl February 12th of 2018. So they try to schedule this around the anniversary of his death. So we sure miss him. He was a huge impact on country music, traditional country music, what we like.
Yeah, that is true. And we were blessed. We got to work with him. We got to.
Yes, we did. We
You
worked
got
with him.
time.
We worked with him several times, and in fact, one of the nights we worked with him, we did our opening. He came up and he did his show, and then after he had gotten done with his show, we got back up to kind of close out the night. It was in a bar, so we were playing like till 1 a.m. And he stuck his head around the corner, came out of the bus, stuck his head around the corner and said, "Hey, you mind if I get up and sing some harmony with you guys?" Ended up taking over, and I mean, we had an absolute blast. It was bucket list for me, because anybody that knows me knows that I'm a huge Singletary fan.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he was incredible. He was amazing, and he was a great guy. He played my guitar. I thought that was pretty great. Pretty
Yeah.
great to. And then got to sing "After the Fire Is Gone" with him, so
Yes.
that was a treat too. And if you'll remember, that was his last road job for a while because he was going home because his youngest daughter was getting ready to be born.
Yeah,
So
he had a plane standing by to fly him home if need be.
yep, yep. So I mean, and she came pretty quick after that. So
Yes.
it was pretty neat. It was a pretty good night, a lot of fun. Um, but yeah, we are going to be doing I'm working on that right now. It's not put together yet. Working on the information, putting things together, but we will definitely have an episode on Daryl Singletary. I will
Yes.
definitely also uh, get something going on Johnny Duncan too. Yeah, I think it's very sad. In some ways, he has almost been forgotten. So that's, it's unfortunate. And that's what we're here for. We want to make sure that these folks aren't forgotten. There are, too many of them that shaped what we've done in our lives and our careers. So I think and it's an important thing for us to, uh, to pay homage to those folks. Um,
Yes.
there's tons of information, and my head swims all the time when I sit down and start writing ideas out. But there's going to be somebody I'm going to miss, and I don't want to miss them. So that's where it helps if you all can make comments and comment on the episodes we have. Let us know what you like. Um, I don't mind criticism either. I mean, it's the biggest thing is I just ask that it's respectful. Most of the comments, everything we have gotten so far has been positive. It's been great. Um, I don't mind positive feedback. Um, there was one post that was a little dark, and I won't really point out what it is, but it on somebody that was kind of a negative comment. But there is such a thing as freedom of speech. I do agree with that, and as long as it's done respectfully, you have the right to your opinion. So, uh, I do get that. I get that. So, and the truth is the truth. I mean, I understand that as well. But just remember that this is entertainment too. We're doing this to be entertaining to people we are, um, while we're trying to save the traditions of country music. So, I've got somebody here that has said, "Do you have anything on Ray Price, Porter Wagner, Pretty Miss Norma Jean, or the Carter family? I love them all." And those are all really, really good ideas for people that we can do. Um, I I do have information on Ray Price. I've got some on Porter Wagner. Porter Wagner was a Missouri guy. He was from West Plains originally, and I had a great uncle that played fiddle for him for about 15 years before he went to Nashville. So yes, we would love to do something like that. Pretty Miss Norma Jean, absolutely. She's still out there singing some, I think. We worked with her before in Branson. What a sweet
Yeah.
lady. What a talented lady. And the Carter family. We will definitely go back and touch on that too, because the Carter family was a huge part of traditional country music. Um, so that we want to do that. We want to show the old stuff and how country music came to be, how things were at the Grand Ole Opry, the business side of Nashville. There's just so many different avenues that we have yet to have really delved into.
Yes.
So that's all going to happen in the
The,
future.
the list
Uh,
is endless to what, we can do with this. So,
yes.
what
So
we
Jim,
will
talk to me about the future about a little bit
we
more.
will definitely get to all these people. It just takes a little time, a little research. Uh, you know, in the future, we plan to expand our program to include some of the country entertainers from the 70s, 80s, and 90s and forward, all while concentrating on the traditional country style. While we appreciate all musical eras and genres, today's country music is not our focus on this channel. And I think our buddy Hawkshaw Hawkins Jr., we had an interview with him, and I think he kind of said it best if you'll play that clip.
You know, they all to me, nothing personal. I love you guys, but y'all all sound alike, and y'all all write the same kind of music, and each song sounds like the other one. Let's talk about Daisy Dukes, campfires, and bonfires, and
Exactly.
let's get past that. My God.
Let's do.
Yeah, he's a good friend of ours. He gets it. Within this genre, there's so much great content to cover. We're not only going to focus on country entertainers, but we're going to feature musicians. Some of the players that made the sound of the traditional country music. Also, places that events occurred. The Opry, the Ryman, Broadway. And we appreciate all those who subscribe to this channel and like our episodes and share them. That helps us build this channel. We're hoping that more of you watch the channel actually subscribe. That helps us so much. Also, sharing our content helps greatly. We're going to be doing some live interviews too. Some of these people we'll bring on and we'll do some StreamYard, Zoom, whatever you call it. We'll do some live interviews with some of these people, chats with entertainers and country music, as well as some of our local friends that play country music around the area. and our bandmates. We'll probably get the guys from Route 67 on here too. Also, on that note, I want to give a shout out to a friend of ours, Mr. Randy Davis, who is the owner of Gene's Country Club in Peevely, Missouri, and want to thank him for giving us a place to play traditional country music. If you're in the area in Missouri, around the southeast Missouri area in Peevely, Missouri, make sure you check out Gene's Country Club. He has shows on Saturday nights, 7 o'clock.
It's a great place. It's an old honky tonk, isn't it?
It
It's it's a very nice place though to be. That's one thing that, well, when we say honky tonk, it's not a rough joint. It's a very nice place to play music. There's a lot of history in that building. His
Yes.
father, Jim Davis, was a very big part of country music out on the West Coast, especially back in like the 50s and 60s. So he was absolutely, Brandy knows a lot about country music. He played with David Purcell for several years, um, but he has an incredible place out there, and we are so blessed that that we get a chance to play out there, and he allows us to play what we play, which is absolutely all traditional country music.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
uh,
When you go there, you know what to expect. I mean, you're going to get real country music.
absolutely. Well, I want to share a couple things with you. And bear with me because I'm not real technical. I'm going to try to pull some of this stuff up. But I want to share with you this book that I just read. It was put out September of 2023. Um, it's called Playing Possum, My Memories of George Jones. It was written by Nancy Jones and Ken Abram. You've got to see if you are a country music lover, you have got to get this book and read it. Uh, I got it through Amazon. I got it on Amazon, but you can get it. I think even Walmart has it. But it's a great book. It was very forthcoming. There's a lot of information. Nancy Jones is something else,
Yeah.
and to hear what her life was with George, and she was married to George for 30 years. She has a lot of stories, good and bad, that she was very open to share in the book. Um, so you have to get out there and you have to read that book. And then let me see. I'm gonna find something else here real quick. Something else that's George Jones related. Um, I gotta find because you know me, I'm not a real techie kind of girl. So I'm going to share my screen here. Hold on just a second. Um, this just came out. It's called George Jones, The Lost Nashville Sessions. And if you've not heard of this, go get it. I have listened to some of it. I do not have it yet, but I will guarantee you we will have it in our home. These sessions were some of these things, they were recordings that were actually, from what I understand, he did some of these in radio stations, like one takes. He would go from beginning to end, and I swear it sounds just like the records. Um, George Jones was, he was the biggest. I don't know of anybody who would be considered any bigger in the country music field than George Jones. So the Lost Nashville Sessions, um, it is absolutely worth your time. I know you can get it on Amazon for sure. Also, uh, gonna let the cat out of the bag a little bit. One we got coming up is we have George Jones. We have an episode. Actually, it's going to be two episodes on George Jones. His biography. There was so much stuff that we could not fit it into one. So we actually just finished up the biography, and I'm so excited because we spent some time with Nancy Jones, and we interviewed her. That's going to be part two. You're just not going to believe it. I'm telling you. Um, if you do not know Nancy Jones, and if you've not seen any interviews on her, she's something else. She's an amazing lady. So make sure you go and you get this box set and read the book, and then come back. You've got to watch this. We're gonna drop it probably. It's probably gonna be a little while yet because we have to get. We're gonna drop Connie Smith, and I believe it's gonna be. We're gonna drop it probably next week, and then we drop about every 3 weeks. That's about kind of what we're doing at this point. That'll be about time for Daryl Singletary's, which we want to release like right before his show that he has in Nashville, which that's also part of a fundraiser. The Daryl Singletary show is. I
Yes.
know there is a scholarship foundation in his name, and so part of the proceeds go to that. So wanted to let y'all know that. Let me see. I'm going to go back to some comments here. This guy, he says Hawk Jr. is channeling his mom in that clip spot on. You are absolutely right about that. He does. He sounds just like his mom on that, doesn't he? There was nobody that was more into the country music field than Gene Shepherd was. And he has carried it forward, that's for sure. And we were blessed several years ago to get to meet Gene. I'd met her several times, but we talked to her at a Rope Awards, which is a retired, what is that?
Reunion of professional entertainers.
Yes, yes. I'm a Rope member. So we were at the awards and I went and talked to her. I introduced myself to her and Jim. And I told her, I said, we play in a traditional country band. And she's turned around and looked at me and said, don't get me started, honey. So we talked a little bit about country music, but she's fabulous. And so is Hawk. He is such a dear human being. He was the first interview that I did for this for for this channel. He was very gracious with his time and information, and he's a great friend of ours. I'm so glad that uh, he took the time to talk to us. So very very blessed. Let me see here. I'm going to go back to Kurt's. Joe Stampley, that's another one. I definitely want to do Joe Stampley. Joe is still incredible singer. You don't hear a lot out of him, but I saw him last year at the it was at the Troubadour Theater. The Thursday going into CMA Music Fest every year, there is a show that is called the Next Generation Show. And what it is it's the children of a lot of these traditional country entertainers. They were all there. Tony Stampley was there, and Tony is an incredible songwriter. He wrote a bunch of hits for Hank Jr. He's done a lot of stuff, and uh, he was on the show, but he also brought his dad. So Joe was there and Mo Bandy, and they got up and they sang, and it was just unbelievable how good they sounded. It was an amazing show. So yes, Joe Stampley is definitely on the list to do a show on, and hopefully, knock on wood, we'll get to talk to some people about him too, because he's such a cool guy, such a cool guy. I loved it. Um, so I'm gonna go back. Here's another one from Kurt talking about jeans. Jeans was built for music, and you can have a beer there. You bet. He has beer and wine, and it's something else. The pictures that he has on the walls, the publicity pictures of all these huge singers, through the years. So it has such a cool ambience. It's what you want to hear. It's a place you want to hear country music in. So got to go to Gene's Country Club in Peebly, Missouri. If you ever get over here, it's about 45 minutes south of St. Louis. So Peebly, Missouri. So keep that in mind if you ever get up here. Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep. He also has a Facebook and a website too, so you can check that out.
yeah. Yeah. Let me see here. Going back to Brian. Brian Teague says the George Jones album is available on Spotify. I've heard it and it's great. Everyone needs to hear it. Buy a copy for yourself and copies for all your friends. And it is fabulous. I didn't realize when I pulled it up and I listened to a little bit of it before we talked to Nancy. And I did not know that a lot of this was live stuff, that it was like one take things. It's not like some of it sounds like you're listening to the original recording. and it's not. It's actually, a live performance somewhere, perhaps in a radio station, maybe a take two or something like that. So it's such a great project, and it's so nice to know that there's still music being released by him out there. I'm sure there's probably more stuff because I know he did a lot of he did a lot of songs. I think for a music core, I think he recorded something like 280 songs, and I forgot how many of those were singles. So that's another thing. It's just pretty crazy. But I'm going back through here trying to make sure I don't miss any of our chats in here. Kurt, thank you for the compliment. We really do appreciate that. That means an awful lot coming from you. Curtis Lynn Cook is an incredible singer, and he's an incredible songwriter. He's a good friend of ours. We played a lot of music together. Went camping. We're happy. They're just him and his wife Angie are so dear to us, and we love them so much. Um, but he's great, and he plays at Gene's too. He does a limited amount of shows every year. So if you ever get a chance to see a Kurt Cook show, make sure you go see it. He's a honky tonkin' son of a gun, isn't he, Jim?
Yes, yes. Great friend and a brother.
That's right. That's right. Always, always. I see. I just wanted to make sure I don't miss anything here. So yeah, we have upcoming Connie Smith, Daryl Singletary, and then we have George Jones. Uh, is going to be released on Classic Country Backstories coming up. It takes a lot of time to do an episode. Because
Well,
I want to do it right.
that's because we want it to be right. We try to get all our facts straight. We don't just want to throw anything out there just to have content.
Yeah,
A lot,
yeah, yeah. We're not dragging this stuff off Wikipedia. It's
no, a
not.
lot. A lot of YouTubers, say content, content, content. That's what you got to be pushing out. But we want it to be right. We want it to be factual. We want it to be entertaining. You know,
Exactly. I mean, we could and we you can have all of those things and still be truthful. There are some scandals in the country music industry, and I'm not going to say we're going to shy away from that, but I just want to make sure that everything we report on is accurate. I want it
right,
to be fair and accurate to whoever we're covering. And it's about the music, folks. I mean, that's what we uh, that's what we want to focus on. And I think that also helps. It's one of the reasons I think we get the interviews that we get at times, because that's the first thing that we tell people when we talk to them, that we want true content. We want it from the people that can tell us true stories. We have a lot of musician friends in Nashville that we want to take time and be able to interview them. I've talked to Steve Henson in Nashville. If you don't know who Steve Henson is, he is an incredible steel guitar player. He's an incredible guy. He's played with George Jones. He's played with a lot of people. So we're going to try to get him on here. His wife, Becky Henson, she is a fabulous bass player. She is a fabulous singer. She's a dear friend. We love her very much. She played with
yes,
Porter Wagner as part of the all girl band that he had. She's done a lot of things through the years. So we're going to try to get them on here. Um, we've talked to several people. We talked to some musicians for Daryl Singletary we want to talk to and try to get them on here. These episodes are going to end up being more than one part, because I know nobody wants to sit on for 2 hours and watch an episode. Nobody has time for that, right? So, um, but we may, if we do an episode on somebody and we don't do an interview, doesn't mean we won't come back at some point and do an interview about them. So, I mean, that's another thing, that there's so many options for us to cover at this point. So, Jim, you have some country music news for us?
yes, I do. Actually, the Opry is celebrating its 100th year. If I can get this to pull up, find my mouse. There we
It
go.
is. This year is the
Uh,
100th anniversary of the Grand Ole Opry.
so if you want to join in the celebration at the Grand Ole Opry, if you'll bring that up.
Yep.
You
Here
can
we go.
go to opry.com and get your tickets. There's a full schedule of who's going to be there. I think they're doing next Saturday. I believe they're doing a Dolly Parton night, which will be
Ooh,
cool. Yeah.
that'd be great.
So yeah, go to the Opry. It's great. We've been there. We've been there several times, and
Oh yeah.
actually got to sit on the front row one time. My
Uh-huh.
yeah, my
It was
wife
your
got us.
50th birthday, wasn't it?
Yeah, my wife got us tickets to the Opry, and I got to see Joe Diffie, Marty Stewart, Connie Smith, Bill Anderson. I mean, it was just a list of who's who on the Opry, and it was great. Couldn't have been a better birthday present.
Tried to surprise you and get that, which I think we pulled it off pretty well.
Yeah,
He knew he was going somewhere, but he didn't know for sure where he was going until we pulled onto Highway 24.
yeah. Then I
Then
knew.
we knew where he was going.
That kind of gave it away.
And then we got to the Opry, and I was picking up the tickets, and I got a note to one of the ladies, and I'm like, my husband would just lose it if Eddie Stubbs would tell him happy birthday. Eddie
Oh
was
yeah,
the MC for the Grand Ole Opry. So he did. He said happy birthday to you. I didn't know if we'd get that done or not, but it was pretty cool. Pretty cool.
yeah, yeah. It was a great night. Definitely awesome.
Yeah, it was. So you have another one to go up?
Yeah, got some country music. Not so much trivia, but on this day in country music, for those of you who are into facts, on January 13th, born on this day, was Jenny Lou Carson, the first woman to write a number one country song. The 1945 hit, You Two Timed Me One Time Too Often. Let's see what else.
Was she the creator of the hook?
Might have been. Let's see. This is not the day I was looking for. Hold on a minute. Technical problems.
It's okay.
It's already switched over to the 13th. I had some other things I wanted to
I'll
say.
take it off for just a second while you're looking.
Yeah.
We can go through some stuff. That's okay. That's okay. Yeah. So our buddy Kurt, he said, "I'm blushing, y'all." Well, we mean exactly what we say. You are amazing. You are amazing. And Brian says, in order to do it right and for it to be factual, you have to take your time and do your research. And you're absolutely right. I don't know if it's the best way to do it, but it's the best way for us to do it, I think, at this point. I see a lot of vloggers, and everybody has their own way of doing things, but they do a lot of things live and just kind of walk through and talk. And I want to take that time and piece things together. I think it's an important thing. I want to have accurate pictures and timelines and all that stuff. So, not to say there's not bobbles, because I have caught a couple of them. I had to laugh because we had to cut out one section that I was editing for Connie Smith because I said Marty Stewart met her in 1920. He met her in 1970. That's when he first met her. But anyway, I had to cut that part off, But things happen. But I think the information is factual that we're giving out. So I am excited about that.
Yeah.
Kurt says 3 chords and the truth, y'all. That's absolutely right. I would agree 100% with that. So did you find what you were looking for?
Yes, I did finally.
All right.
Wanted to mention some birthdays today.
Okay.
Today would have been Ray Price's birthday. He was born in 1926.
Mhm.
He died at the age of 87 at his ranch outside of Mount Pleasant, Texas. Also, William Lee Golden, the singer with the Oak Ridge Boys, today would have been his birthday. He was born in 1939. Also,
Gosh,
Ricky Van Shelton was born in 1952. Today's his birthday. Wilma Lee Cooper, who was inducted into the Grand Ole Opry, she was born on this date in 1958. Also, a little bit of trivia. In 1969, Glenn Campbell was number one on the U.S. country charts with Wichita Lineman, his 12th album.
wow, that's crazy.
So there you go. There's
A
some.
lot of good information. Also, I did see where a couple of days ago would have been Loretta and Mooney Lynn's anniversary. I think it was like their 76th wedding anniversary if they had been alive. So I'm sure they're up in heaven. So
Yeah.
um, the movie and everything said she married him at 13. She was 15 actually, but they did get married very young. So it would have been their anniversary. I know there's a lot. Oh,
Oh yeah.
yes, and Kurt Cook says, and I did text him today. Today is steel guitarist Keith Barton's birthday. So we texted Keith and we wished him a happy birthday. He's a good dear friend of ours, an incredible steel guitar player. He played with Mark Wills for several years. I know that. He's done a lot of stuff. He played a lot in the gospel world as well. So we
Played with the
definitely know
Lesters.
the Lesters.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were huge.
That's
That's
that's the first time I met him.
that's
He's
where you met him.
yeah. He's 62 today.
Is he 62 today? Isn't that something?
Sorry,
Wow.
Keith. I didn't mean to tell your age, but Kurt already said it in the chat, so don't get mad at
Oh,
me.
that's great. That's great. So Brian says, I'd rather wait 3 weeks for it to be good than to have a new video every 2 days and they suck. Yeah, me too. Me too. And we take our time. I have to tell you, there was one of them. I'm trying to think of which one it was that I was working on.
It was Merle.
It was the Merle Haggard one. That's right. I was working on Merle's biography and I got almost completely done. And there's a process whenever you work on these videos called rendering. It's like mixing a recording. I rendered it and I went back and I looked and about the first third was missing. I spent 15 hours on this and it was not right.
Yeah.
So I had to go back and create the first part of it and then drop the part that was rendered in behind it. It was a
And
save. We made it.
and
But
then
and
there,
that also there's a Bible and that's one of
yeah,
them that has a Bible in it
ended
too.
ended up making a little mistake. There's a part of it that's repeated twice, but
Yeah.
you know,
But I figure at least it drives it home. What we
yeah,
said was true.
exactly.
And if you haven't seen that one, you've got to go see that. We had Marty Haggard with that, and Marty is such a great guy.
Yes,
He
we
is such a great storyteller. Um, I could talk to Marty forever because Marty could talk forever,
yeah, and he does.
and he does. Yeah,
We
yeah.
we worked
He
with
is,
him at the Third and Lindsley with Max, and
yep.
it was a fun night, man. We heard some stories.
Oh yeah. I had met him back in June when I was at the Next Generation show. I'm telling you, y'all have to go to this show in June. It's the Thursday going into CMA Fest. Um, I haven't seen
We'll
when.
we'll
We'll have to
promote it.
post it.
We'll promote it when the advertisement comes out for it.
Yeah, because I'm not sure. I don't have the particulars yet.
They they
Uh,
probably don't have the lineup fully
I probably don't
committed
yet.
yet.
So as soon as they release it, I will have Hawk um, let us know, give us the information, and we will definitely, we'll promote it because it is. If you
Also,
love traditional country music, if you don't like CMA Fest, if you don't want to go downtown, you don't have to worry about it because they're not usually doing it downtown. It's
if
usually out in Music Valley Drive. So last couple of years it's been at Troubadour. Um, So, I mean, it's the best of all worlds because you can meet and talk to all these people and get their autographs, and they will be there until everybody's gone. That's what they did. It's one thing I was the most impressed with. Um, they were all talented, very talented individuals in their own right. Um, Great singers and players. Um, but the show was great. Um, Paid homage to a lot of these great traditional entertainers. They had Hoyt Axton's son was there last year. Uh, Dean Miller, Roger Miller's son was there. Um, Terry Husky, Ferlin Husky's son, he sang. Um, there were just so many of them. It was the Bellamy brothers' sons were there, and they sang. It's different every year. They have different people, every year. Melissa Lumen is always there. She's one that helps to head it up along with Hawkshaw Hawkins Jr. and Julie Husky, Harlan's daughter. Um, but they do something different every year. So I mean, it is definitely a show that is worth seeing.
Also, if you want to get a preview of kind of what it's like, uh, the Larry Black Show's Country Family Reunion, they have a segment on. It's called Second Generations, and if you look it up, it's on YouTube. You can find it on YouTube, uh, but that will give you an idea of what the show is all about because they have all of those artists on there doing their parents, siblings songs.
Yeah, Kurt said he'd love to see Ashley Campbell on there. I think she has done it. I
Yeah.
think she was on there a couple of years ago. I could be wrong, but I think she's been on there. But some of these people will come back, multiple years, do different songs. Now that Johnny Lee's daughter was there, she's Cherish Lee. She's phenomenal entertainer. She's really, really good. Um, I'm trying to think of who else was on that show. Country's Family Reunion YouTube page is amazing. You're
Yes,
right. You are
it
right
is.
about that. It
It
is.
is. We've watched hours worth of all that stuff. We actually bought the Bill Anderson tribute. It's really good.
Yeah. Yeah, Bill has written so many songs for so many huge entertainers through the years. And if you have not seen that episode, we have a great episode on that. Bill Anderson, we spent quite a bit of time with him,
Yeah.
and I have a lot of footage. When we originally got with him, he didn't know us. We didn't really know him. We knew who he was, of course, but um, he said he usually did like 15, 20-minute interviews, and we spent what,
Oh, it was
hour and a
over.
half.
Yeah, over an hour.
Yeah, yeah, and he was so gracious, and I know it's not something he does real often, but we were so thankful that we got that opportunity to uh, to actually interview him. But that is a good episode too. That I'm really proud of that one, and so many of these episodes have done really well. I'm going to look real quick because I know Bill Anderson was like at 35,000, I believe,
Yeah.
something like that. Um, but you can tell to me, we kind of watch depending and seeing what the trend is, what people like, what you want to hear, what you want to see. Um, so let me go back here. Bill Anderson, yeah, he's up to 36,206 views. We've had that many. Gene Shepard was another great one, which is where we interviewed Hawk for him and his dad's, for Gene and Hawks. But Gene has 18,564 views. Um, Sometimes we're surprised who gets a lot and who, the ones that do well and the ones that don't. I know part of it's algorithm. We're still trying to figure all that out. Ferlin Husky, um, he had 13,071 views, which is great. And they're still all climbing. Um, Some of them is kind of, kind of slow, and I'm kind of surprised in some ways. We dropped one on Cowboy Copus. Some people, I guess, don't know who Cowboy Copus is. Um, and I didn't know, honestly, a lot about myself about Cowboy Copus, other than the fact that my daddy used to sing Filipino Baby. That's what that's what I knew him for, But of course, he was in the plane crash with Hawkshaw Hawkins and Patsy Cline and Randy Hughes. But I felt like when we did these episodes, there's been so much that has done on Patsy Cline, and I know that I love Patsy Cline. She was incredible. But there's been so much coverage on Patsy Cline, and it's been so saturated. But I felt like I wanted to go with Hawkshaw Hawkins and Cowboy Copus and Randy Hughes because there hasn't been that much.
Well,
Their lives and careers were so important on their own.
no, nobody tells the other side of the story of those other people that were involved in the crash.
Right, and there are a
It's
lot of interesting facts about all three of those people that we don't ever hear about.
well,
So, that's why I went
Hawkshaw
back.
Hawkins had the number one song in the nation
Absolutely. Yeah. The
when
plane
when the plane
crash.
crashed.
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of us, like our generation that wasn't around, that happened in 63, and we were born after that. So, there's a lot of that information people don't know. And the Randy Hughes, Randy Hughes which there's not a lot out there about him. Um, but he was Patsy Cline's manager, and he was the one piloting the plane,
Yes.
and he got tied up in bad weather. It was just a bad deal. But Randy Hughes actually played guitar. He played acoustic guitar
Yeah.
on all of Patsy Cline stuff,
And
everything that he did through Decca.
and I'll quote Bill Anderson on this. Evidently, he said he was a better guitar player than he was a pilot.
Apparently, that's
Just
right.
saying. Bill said it.
I think that was kind of an off the record, but yeah, he did. He said that, and I'm like, oh my, but he's not
Wow.
wrong, you know.
No.
So, but yeah, but there is a lot. Um, there's a lot to be said about these guys that have been
Yeah.
around forever. So, let me see here. What do I have
Yeah.
here? Mine says, I don't think Bill Anderson Country Family Reunion's been uploaded to their
No,
channel.
it's probably not. But if you stream TV, there's an app called Country Road that you can subscribe to, and
Yeah.
I think it has it on that channel. If you
Oh,
stream TV, there's an app called Country Road that has tons of that footage on there from that Larry Black puts out. Larry's Country Diner, Country Family Reunion, all that kind of stuff. I think it's on there. Don't quote me, but I think it's on there.
yeah. Well, it says, let me see here. I just noticed that Jim is live in the Groove Pad Studios.
Yeah. Sitting here behind my drum kit, just having a
Just
good time.
chilling.
Just chilling.
Yeah,
This is
that's right.
this is where all the magic happens.
That's right. Oh, Brian says, dang, your Hawksaw Hawkins video has 24,000 views. I didn't know that many people knew who he was. I feel like he's been forgotten, which is unfortunate. I agree with you.
Yes.
When I started digging into his stuff, I really wish I had known what we know now, that we were going to be doing this. I kind of probably could have had the opportunity to talk to Jean Shepherd about this stuff several years ago, and
Yeah.
just didn't press it. Her health wasn't the best, and and I just, like I said, I didn't want to spend too much time or infringe on her time at all. So I didn't do it. I'm sure she probably would have talked about this and given me a lot of good information. Hawk gave me a lot of good information. However, you have to stop and think he was born less than a month after his dad died. A little over a month after his dad passed away.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he never saw his dad. Um, so and it's pretty interesting if you go back and watch that because I kept trying to get him to give me some dirt on his dad. He was pretty good about not doing it.
Yeah.
He said out of respect for his mama, and I get that. His mama, but you know what? I think probably if I talked to Jean, she probably would have given it to me.
Oh, there would have been no filter
No,
because that's
no,
just that's just the way Gene was. There was
yeah,
no filter.
yeah, you're absolutely right about that.
She
You're
told it like it was, and the one time we got to meet her, of course, you know, she was like, "There is no other thing other than traditional country music."
Yeah, that's the only kind of music she was going to listen to. And even Hawk said she was pretty harsh. She could be, about it.
Yeah, I he said, when she wrote that book, he's like, "Mom, don't say that about these people because I may have to work with these people again." So
That's right. Well, and I did. I know that there was a couple stories that I knew um, that I shared with him about things that she had talked about with other female entertainers, which will remain nameless.
yes.
But yeah, and then I would say, "Did you know she said this?" And he said, "Oh my, that's why she looks at me that way when I see her." It's pretty interesting.
Yes.
Pretty interesting. I loved it though. But Jean was
Yes.
great. Yeah, you're
She
right,
had
Brian.
no
Had
filter.
no filter. And I absolutely loved her too because you never had to worry about what she was thinking and she's going to let you know. And I love people like that, don't I, Kurt Cook? We don't make no bones about anything with each other, do we?
And it's funny to hear, our good friend Leona Williams. She can tell you some Gene Shepherd stories
Oh
that
yeah. Yeah.
are just amazing.
She always tells the story about Jean being on a hurry and being she was going somewhere and she got pulled over by the cops for speeding.
Yeah.
And the cop, he knew who she was and he said, "Ma'am," he said, I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to give you a ticket." And he said, she said, "Well, how much is this going to cost me?" And he said, "I don't know, about $12.45. So then she said, "Well, because she had to get her purse out of the trunk. So she goes to the back, pops the trunk to get her purse with a driver's license in it. And there's CDs back there that she had to sell. So he asked her about one of those CDs. So, well,
He's
ma'am, did
he's
you get one of those CDs autographed? She said, "Yeah, they'll be $12.45."
yeah. He he said, I'm a huge fan and I'd love to have
Yeah.
one of your CDs. So how much would that cost me?"
Yep. Yep. But she really was that way. And she married Benny Birchfield. And Benny, now I'm gonna, no, I don't want to tell you all, but Benny, but he worked with some like bluegrassers, I think. He was like part of, I don't remember now. It was the Osborne brothers, perhaps, something like that. It's in the video. It is in the video.
Yes.
Um, but then they met. Please excuse me, my nose is running. Missouri weather. Um, but yeah, she was a pistol. But well, as much as I would love to stay on here, I'm sure everybody's probably getting tired of hearing us yak. I just, we wanted to come on here and say hi to everybody and let everybody know what we're up to, what we've been up to, and that we're going to keep going forward. We're going to keep building the channel. We appreciate the support that everybody gives us. And it all takes time to build. But like I said, if you'll keep on keeping on with us, please like and share these videos. Subscribe, tell your friends to subscribe.
Yes.
It means the world to us to be out here doing this. So, and we love doing it because it's what we know and that's what we love. So just want to share the information with you all. Don't hesitate. Give us comments. If you want to get a hold of us, you can do that. Um, I think you can even email us through there's a place where it shows the
Yes.
email in there, so you can send us emails as well. And I always try to comment on your comments if at all possible. So trying to keep up with that, but we really do appreciate you so much. You want to say anything before we get out of here, Jim?
I just want to thank everybody, for all the nice comments. Thank everybody that has subscribed to the channel, and tell your friends about the channel. If you've got friends that, love traditional country music, spread the wealth.
That's right.
We're trying to,
And make sure to go to Classic Country Music Shows. I think it is the one
yes,
that we love so much.
yes,
I'm telling you, he's got some great episodes. He's got things
unbelievable.
that I didn't know even existed. So,
And he's
uh,
still uploading. I mean, he uploads 5 or 6 a day, and it's
yeah,
it's just really good stuff.
yes, yes. And if you have any kind of footage that you want to share with him, I'm sure he'd appreciate that too. So,
Yes.
thank you all so much for being with us tonight. We appreciate y'all hanging in here with us. And like I always say on the end of the episodes, take care, God bless, and we'll see you later. Okay. Good night.
Thank you, Brian.
Night.